Hi guys, it's me Karen from Karen's Intuitive Jewelry. Gonna get some fun play in, trying some new designs. This is a Lapis Lazuli, so pretty. And then of course I hope to follow these new tutorials up with more detailed information with stones. So once again, first things first, with cleaning off the stone in preparation of the copper foil tape. So just burnishing this real well after applying the copper foil. And this design I didn't mention, but I'm going to try and make like a cage for it. And then somehow weave some lapis chips inside the cage. We'll see if it comes out or not. But at least I'm trying new stuff. Next step, flux and solder. Again, I start on the back, do the sides, and then the front. Using silver gleam, lead free. Got my iron set at about 700. I just put a few drops on. And then spread it out. Not even worried too much about getting it all smooth at this point. It's just kind of getting it on there. And then once it's molten, you just kind of hover over it and move your iron. And this is going to be in like a cage. Okay, I'm going to finish this off screen. While that's cooling, I'm going to take a 16 gauge pre-tinned dead soft copper wire. You can see where I bought this, and I've had it, gosh, for months. Even though it's only 15 gauge. So I'm going to create kind of a teardrop shape and just a frame. So I'm just going to kind of get an estimate of how much wire I'll need. I want a good amount around this, so something like that. Maybe not quite, it won't be quite that big, but that looks good. I'll make it smaller, and then I'm gonna kind of weave some wires through it and try and string on some lapis chips. So that'll be different, huh? Okay, let me get this cut. And I cut off, oh, I don't know, 6-7 inches. And guesstimate. I'm gonna go ahead and solder that together. And so it'll be about that big. I don't want it any bigger than that, because that's going to be a pretty big pendant already. So I may even make it a little smaller. Not sure yet. Something like that. And then I'm going to use this part to just make a loop and have its own bail. You know, and I can use my step bail making pliers to just do something like that. Don't know if I want it that big yet, but we shall see. That'll be like that, and I'll have to adjust that, of course. This is just a rough frame. Okay, so you're following me, right? Let me get more specific with it. And this is what I'm talking about. So I already attached that up here. Instead of just trimming that end off, I left it and just curled it. It may end up getting cut off. I don't know. I may string a bead through it or something. Again, I don't know for sure. Now what I'm going to do is get some, I think it's 26 gauge silver wire, and I'm just going to start wire wrapping it around here, stringing on a chip bead here and there, and attaching it in certain places as I go along. So I think it'll look pretty cool, actually. I like the concept. Now, if I can pull it off, and I know you guys are laughing at me because I always say that, right? Now, 9 times out of 10, I can pull it off, but it's always a question mark when I start. All right, let me kind of finagle and figure out where to go from here. This is what I'm thinking, with the wire going over and behind the cabochon, and that's what's going to hold it in place. It won't be soldered actually to the frame, so I don't even know if this will work, but I'm gonna try. And I'm using a 24 gauge, and I'm using a non-tarnish or the tarnish resistant parawire, a dead soft copper core. So I don't know if this is gonna work, but we'll try. Okay, I'm gonna get it started and see how it goes. Here is the goal and the process that I'm in the middle of. And I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, because the key will be to have that cabochon solidly in place. I don't want it moving around and all that stuff. So we'll see. Let me continue. I'm really not sure how I feel about it. It's not done yet. And I'm going to go ahead and tack some solder on some strategic places and see if I like it any better after that. So moving on, you know, things always look better in your mind. But here we go. Well, it's not really pretty, but it's different. I'll give it that. So I'm gonna let it cool off and then evaluate to see its sturdiness. And then I'll have to think about if it's even worth it. I may deconstruct the whole thing and do something different with that cabochon because it's such a beautiful lapis. Yeah, it's pretty messy, but hey, you never know till you try. And here it is, all cleaned up. And what I did was I actually removed a couple of chips so it's not so crowded. And then I went in and kind of crimped and twisted and some of the wires, you can see, to give it even a little bit more funky feel. So it's growing on me. I kind of like it. What do you guys think? Honest opinions. Yeah. So it wasn't a complete fail because it was successful in that cabochon. Is definitely secure in this type of design, even though it's only secured with, this was 24 gauge wire. So that was a success, and I like the concept and could use different shaped stones and maybe not even put chips in there, maybe go with little 4mm or even micro beads or just the wires across. So there's different shapes of the frame and different shapes of the stone. So the design is a definite possibility for future projects. So that's it, guys, for this one. I hope at least you enjoyed the process. Until next time, thanks, guys.